Well, good day to all of our awesome internet friends and family. T. Lamont Silver Sr. here. Everyone calls me T. Lamont, and we are here in the Dominican Republic, absolutely enjoying ourselves. Here's my lovely wife of 20 years now.
Hola.
There we go. She swept me off my feet over 20 years ago, and look, see, I still haven't found the floor. You see that? You see that? Still haven't found the floor. Karen is my lovely wife's name. Listen, guys, I wanted to do this video. We've been down here for a few days now, and actually, we've been doing some tours, so I haven't been as attentive as I normally would be to emails and Skypes and all of those good things. And so when I opened up my Skype, I saw a couple of posts there. There's a I'll call him Buddy. All right, there's a buddy who's got a blog, and he loves to stir up controversy. He sent out a post, and had my picture all on it, and had some audios. Looks like he must be a part of our email following, which I'm very flattered. And so he said a lot of things, and some things that weren't all that nice, and very interesting, because I'm not hard to find. Have you figured that out? I'm not hard to find. And actually, I responded to this buddy who's got this blog, and about 5 minutes after I made a post that basically said, hey, you're writing this information, and you come across as you're an authority, yet you've never connected with me. We've never had a conversation. We've never had a Skype conversation, and a Facebook conversation, a phone-to-phone conversation. Instead of doing that, how about let's connect? Well, 5 minutes later, my post was deleted. Well, then this buddy decides that he wants to put out a post about one company that wants to sue this person and all this other stuff, and then another post came out. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. Many of you are aware that I was a top promoter with a company that has a revenue sharing model. They're in the travel space. If you have followed us for any length of time, you knew that I had some very strong concerns about some things with from a management standpoint. So much so that even though we were generating about $3,000 a day in commissions, I want you to hear what I just said, okay? I'm not talking about something that was on paper or something that was just showing up on the screen. I'm talking over $3,000 a day in commissions. We thought, you know what, doesn't matter how much money we make. Doesn't matter how much money we make. So we decided that we had no choice but to execute a plan B. That plan B has come out to be the company that we now promote, that many of you know what we're doing, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately in this industry, particularly when you're dealing with companies that, whether they are based in the U.S. or not, if they're doing business out of the U.S., one of the things that happens in the U.S. is that people like to sue each other, all right? It could be a legitimate suit. It could be an illegitimate suit. I let all the law stuff take care of itself because I don't get bogged down in those types of details. Why? Because my vision and my why is bigger than those types of obstacles. Now, I do want to address this very quickly, and I'm only speaking vaguely because when you're dealing with legal issues, I don't know exactly what can be said, what can't be said. I know the story, okay? I know the story, all right? And so one of the things that I would hope, if you have followed me, my father-in-law, babe, what is that your dad would often say? My favorite saying of your dad. What would he say so often?
He would say, when a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Say that again, baby.
When a person shows you who they are, believe them.
So when a person shows you who they are, believe them. I hope that I have shown you that I'm not out for a quick buck, that I'm passionate about our following. I'm passionate about a message. I'm passionate about making sure that we're in the best situation to take advantage of this revenue sharing model. When I was with a company and I was promoting for a company and I clearly saw some handwriting on the wall And I allowed some time before I started to tell our audience that I was going to execute a plan B, because I was hoping that things were going to turn around, and they didn't. Now, I can tell you there was one person that was a part of that management team that had a heart for the field. The other ones, I'm not doubting whether or not they're good people, okay? They just didn't have the vision that I needed them to have for my family and for our following. Okay, that's the bottom line. I'm never going to disparage their character or what have you. No matter how much that may happen from their end, I'm not going to do that, because that's not how we do business. Right? That's not us. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. So was I aware that there were some legal things? Yes. And it's no different than this. Here's my wife. My gosh, I love this woman. Over 20 years. And if you've been following us for any length of time, you've seen me do videos where she was not featured on the video. But what do I always do? I start off, for the most part, I talk about my wife, I talk about my kids. Now, have there been times when me and my wife had, let's call it passionate debates? You like that, babe?
Very
Passionate,
good.
you like that?
Very
Passionate
nice.
debates,
Very
all
nice.
right?
Very nice.
Have there been times when we've had passionate debates? Sure. Have there been times where there were some difficulties in the marriage? Sure. Do I come on a YouTube video and say, "Hey guys, we just had a fight"? No. So now,
Passionate debate.
yeah, that's right. Not
Not
a fight. Not a fight.
passionate
Yeah,
debate.
passionate debate. No, 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 no. What is it that you need to know? What you need to know is I love my wife dearly. She loves me dearly. So, as it relates to this particular situation and some of these bloggers that are putting out what they're putting out or what have you, and they allow, again, they don't really, if they really wanted to report accurate information, why wouldn't they go to the source? I still have yet to be contacted. The other parties that I'm aware of have yet to be contacted. All right, so here's where we are. Here's where we are. There was a person that was a part of the management of that other company who didn't feel like he was allowed to be to fulfill the role that he needed to be able to fulfill. And a lot of that also comes from a legal aspect. I mean, if you're a president of the company and you can't do day-to-day things that need to be done and things aren't getting done, and then maybe some complaints come in, well, if you're showing as the president, you're going to have to answer to some of that. Well, he decided to resign. Upon his resignation, there were some other things that happened, and he decided that he needed to seek some legal recourse after trying to resolve things without legal recourse. So he sought some legal recourse. All right. Well, his legal recourse started before that company came back with a countermeasure. And I understand the company had to come back with a countermeasure. Didn't have a choice. Because if they hadn't come back with a countermeasure, then all you would have had was his legal recourse out there in the public domain. Now, let me tell you, though, did he go public with that? Did he send anything anonymously to some blogger to say, hey, here's what I'm doing? No. Because all he wanted to do, this is what I know, he was ready to walk away for $1. This is what I know. He was ready to walk away from $1. Well, for whatever reason, that company, I don't understand it. I don't know that I ever will. That company didn't want a nice, simple resolution. I don't understand it. For the life of me, I can't figure it out. And so he had no other choice, he felt, than to seek some legal recourse. They then came back with a little counter action, and now it's with the attorneys, and that'll go on for whatever. But does that have anything to do with you and me? Say it with me. Boy, ooh, I was about to get in trouble, because I was about to say a word and then no, and I don't use that kind of word, and then my mama would have gotten that, and that's got nothing to do with you and me. It's got nothing to do with the enterprise that you and I are building. And so we are going to focus on the main thing. The main thing is what? The main thing is getting us all making money, making it quickly, making a lot of it, so that we can then do what's best for our families, whatever you determine that to be. What I've determined for my family is I don't want all my money sitting in paper money. All you got to do is look at what's happening in Cyprus as I'm doing this recording. Okay, I don't want all of my assets sitting in any one country, my country of residence. I don't want it just sitting there. I want to diversify my holdings. I want to have agricultural property in other countries outside of my country of residence. I want to have silver. I want to have gold. And if you are in the same thinking of that, then please do not be distracted by noise. That's all it is. That's all it is. You know, so I don't know. Maybe they settle stuff. Maybe they want to fight it out. I could care less. What I care about is you being able to have options like this. This is what I care about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, might there be some folks who say, man, it might be. This is what I know. I know that there are universal laws. Now, I have very strong faith. Many of you know what my faith happens to be. You might have a different faith. You might have a different faith belief. I just ask that you respect me as I respect you. What I do know is this. There are universal laws, universal principles. A principle is an eternal truth that works for anyone that works that principle. There are principles that are in place, ladies and gentlemen. And if I'm doing the right things, if I'm doing right by people, if I'm leading them correctly, if I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we're going in the right direction, have I always been right? No. But you know what? I've always been honest with my audience. And there's sometimes you can't say everything that you want to say. There were some things I wanted to tell you when I went out to California in December. I still haven't told you. But you could chart my actions. You could chart. So even if I can't say certain things, or right now there's some legal stuff going on, even if I can't say certain things, chart my actions. What are my actions saying right now? My actions are saying, I'm enjoying life. I'm going to build our business. I'm going to build our business right where we've been talking for the past few weeks, past few months. We're going to build a heck of a business. And remember, it's a movement, guys. A movement means that there is going to be some resistance. But we're going to move beyond the resistance. Whether it's my buddy behind that blog, by the way, buddy, if you happen to be seeing this, I'm sure you will. This is what I want you to do for me. Since you like to put my picture on your blog, since you like to put my picture on your blog, since you like to single me out, and you point it, you had that nice red arrow by the beautiful bald head. By the way, that was great work, by the way. You got it because I just shaved my head, so I appreciate that. Since you like to put my audios on your blog, okay, what I want you to do for me, since you like to feature me on your blog, how about under your About section on your blog, why don't you tell us who you are? Tell us who you are. Who are you, Mr. Blogger Dude? Who are you? Why don't you do that? Why don't you tell us who you are? Tell us where you live. Since you like to put all information out, tell us about you. And hey, why don't you come and see me down here in the Dominican? Or when we go to Chile, come over there and see me in Chile. How about that? How about that? So guys, don't get distracted by, see, that's noise. That's noise. Does that impact your bottom line? Don't be distracted by the noise. Let's finish with this success principle, okay? When your why is big enough, when your why is big enough, I know my why. I know my why is tied to my parents. I know my why is tied to my wife and our children. I know my why is tied to our following. And to get our following, especially those who haven't had the opportunity in this industry to do well because you're not good at recruiting, sponsoring, or selling, to get you making money, one, so that you can start getting out of debt, so that you've got excess of this funny money. All this, if you're US dollars or you're Euro dollars, that's funny money, all right? So, hey, my blogger friend, If you want to talk about something being a Ponzi, I would love for you to do a post about the Social Security system in the U.S. That's the real Ponzi. Or the how is it that a country takes in its tax receipts, by the time it pays its debt, its interest on the debt, excuse me, by the time it pays Social Security, Medicare, it's completely broke. So how does it pay for military spending? How does it pay for infrastructure? How does it pay for education? It's all borrowed money. How about you put that one, my friend, on your blog about that being the real Ponzi? What am I concerned about? What's my focus, ladies and gentlemen? Why are we working so? Because the bottom line is we don't have to. Especially if we came to a country like this, guys. If we came to a country like this, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't have to be online. Wouldn't have to do another webinar. Okay? Why do we do it? Because I need you to be able to make more than what you need to live on right now. So especially if you're in a country where you use the US dollar or euros, that you can start converting that into real money. Silver, gold, have the resources to be able to travel outside your country and maybe look at other options if the shoe dropped in your country. Or even if that doesn't happen, you're not going to be any better or any worse off if you converted some funny money into silver. You're not going to be any worse off if you converted some funny money into gold. Or if you bought you some agricultural property outside of your country. Or if you went to Ecuador and you bought you some beach property because it's much cheaper there than you could get in the U.S. or what have you. Are you going to be any worse off? But see, I need you to have the financial resources to be able to make those options. Oh, excuse me, to have those options. So we've covered a lot. We've talked about the fact that there's a little legal action going back and forth, and let those attorneys deal with that. That's got nothing to do with what we're doing. We've talked about my buddy, the blogger dude. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you get something about that particular person's blog, don't even bother to respond. One, oftentimes if you respond and it goes against what he's saying, he may erase it anyway. Two, if he doesn't erase it, it creates a little more chatter, and that helps to boost their rankings. And then what they like to do is, as a matter of fact, if you've been following that person's blog, you know that they rarely say, I don't know if they've ever seen anything nice they said about anybody. And always tends to be very negative, controversial. You know, if I had a blog, this is me talking, if I had a blog and I'm trying to get advertising dollars, would I talk about something that's controversial, that is meant to stimulate people sending the link and it may be going a little viral, because then my rankings go up and I can charge a little bit more for advertising and get more advertisers or what have you? Or would I want to really be a sound journalist and learn everything I could before I made the post? Because if I learned that, then it may not be as controversial. I know what I would do. See, I don't even have a blog like that because I like to deal in truth. And I'm not hard to find, am I? You see me on YouTube, you come to my webinars. I'm not hard to find. So, hey, buddy, I don't know why you do what you do. You know, I love you too. I love you too. We love each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. And remember, with our company, it's not just a company. It's a movement. Is there going to be some resistance? Yes. And you know what? We're going to move beyond the resistance. We love each and every one of you. We'll give you some more videos from sunny DR.